Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of my videos on it's called a Family Physician Kit. I don't think I said that in the first video, but it's the Family Physician Kit. So it's kind of the kit that I recommend everyone to start out with, especially young families. Or old families, whichever one you want to do. But it's kind of the kit that has a little bit of everything of the basic oils that most people use. So in this video, I'm going to show you another 3 of the kit. And it's going to be Melaleuca, oregano, and frankincense. And if you have watched my videos in the past, you know I love me some frankincense. But I'm gonna start out with my Melaleuca. So Melaleuca comes from Australia. At least doTERRA's Melaleuca oil comes from Australia. And it can be used as a first aid ointment. So kind of your Neosporin, your antibiotic cream. I love Neosporin. That was like always been my thing. I always have it in my purse. I have it in my first aid kit. I have it in my bathroom. I have it in my Band-Aid box. I have it everywhere. So I started using Melaleuca. I use my first aid or my antibiotic cream too sometimes, but sometimes I just use my Melaleuca. So when we go hiking and stuff, I will have my Melaleuca in my backpack. And you know when you're walking through that brush and stuff and you get scrapes and scratches and my little boys fall down and they scrape their knee, I just quickly rub my finger on the top of my bottle and just rub that little scrape. So you make sure they're not getting any infection, or you know, they might get some dirt in there after it's been scraped. So that's one little use I use it for. Another wonderful thing I love from Melaleuca, ladies, some ladies have a tendency to get a yeast infection before their menstrual period. And so what I recommend to do is to take a little teaspoon, of a carrier oil, such as coconut oil, and add just 2 to 3 drops of the Melaleuca oil and rub your perineal area, your private area, to help alleviate that pain, or that and the ache and the scratchiness and, you know, the yeast infection stuff. And then you can also put it on the tip of your tampon and insert that the way that you normally do, and to take care of that. And after 3 or 4 months of doing that repetitiously and doing it with everyone, I personally can say I haven't had a yeast infection since. And so I'm sorry that gets a little personal, but it's a wonderful reliever of the yeast infection without the creams and everything else that does only relieves the symptoms and doesn't take care of the virus and the infection. So it's wonderful for that. Melaleuca is wonderful to penetrate any virus. If I get a cold or something, I take Melaleuca along with a couple other oils that is in another video, and I swallow it and I take it, and it will, especially if it's a throat infection like strep throat, I love to let that just soothe my throat and attack that virus. Also, Melaleuca is wonderful for like athlete's foot. So you want to rub the foot with a carrier oil just so that you get a bigger surface area and a few drops of Melaleuca. You're not gonna really overdose on the Melaleuca, but so you just take a couple drops as you need them. If you feel like you need a couple more, then take a couple more. With essential oils, comes into play with 2 things that I think are most important. Well, 3. Let me say 3. So personal research to make sure you're using the oil that you think you should be using. And research on the brand that you should be using. I've researched a lot. I've used a lot of different oils, but doTERRA, I have never found any to beat them for the purity or for the strength and the relieving of the symptoms that I've used it for, or I've told other people to use them for. So Melaleuca is wonderful for the athlete's foot, like I said. So, like I said, you can't really overdose on it. So one thing, research. 2 things. The second thing, I would use common sense. Obviously, you're not going to want to dump Melaleuca in your eye. You want to use Melaleuca or whatever oil for whichever ailment that you think is going to be good. The third thing I say is intuition. You get your gut feeling, you kind of know what's going on. If you're in doubt and there's any kind of virus, use Melaleuca. Or I would. Or if you have frankincense and not Melaleuca, go for frankincense. But that's moving on. Sorry, I'm jumping everywhere. But the Melaleuca is also really good for athlete's foot, like I said. Or if it's not a full-blown athlete's foot and it's just that stinky gym bag or the stinky gym shoes, you can just put a cotton ball in those gym shoes, or you can put a couple drops in the gym shoes or you can put a cotton ball, either way you want to do it, and it will absorb all that bacteria in there and to help relieve that smell and the stinkiness of it. I have one little boy that just has stinky shoes, and my husband's, I'm just, ugh. So this is what I do. Or you can put about 10 drops in your laundry dish or your washing machine load, and it's wonderful to help fight an infection in your whites and in your underwears and all those kind of things. So let me think if I can think of anything else. Oh, I also use Melaleuca. I put 3 drops in a normal size bottle of shampoo and conditioner. It's really good for your scalp and to strip the bacteria and everything in your scalp and on your hair follicles. It's really good for relieving any skin irritation. So you can also use Melaleuca, which is wonderful with the lavender in the previous video, to help soothe irritated bum for like a baby with a diaper. So the diaper rash, what I would do is just put a little bit of coconut oil or whatever carrier oil you prefer, and put 1 drop Melaleuca, 1 drop lavender, and just rub on their bum, and rub that every bum change, and to help with the skin rejuvenation, which is really good with Melaleuca. It's really good for skin repair. Is there anything else? Oh, acne. I have a zit right now. So in my face cleanser video, I went over the Melaleuca, and what I just recommend is just rubbing your finger on the top or just taking a drop and putting it right on the zit in the affected area. It's not the best smelling, but I would deal with it for 1 to 2 days to get rid of the zits, especially those blind zits that you can't pop. Sorry, I'm reading my notes so I don't forget anything. Other than that, that's pretty much the biggest reasons I use Melaleuca. There's other reasons, but there's a little more in depth, but that's the basic reason I use Melaleuca. Moving on to oregano. I love oregano. It smells just like oregano. It's really gross. To me, it's just really strong. I love oregano in my food, but to smell this, it's just super, super strong. What I use Melaleuca for the most often is if my little boys come down with a cold virus, which is usually pretty much the most serious thing they've had, cold virus, flu virus, I will rub the On Guard 2 drops on the bottoms of their feet every 3 to 4 hours, kind of like an antibiotic. You can note your oregano as more like is your antiviral or your antibiotic. So if you're taking your oregano for more than 10 days, you want to make sure that you're using a probiotic also, because it's as strong as your antiviral antibiotics. And so you want to use that in a good nutritious way too. So you want to make sure you're having the yogurts and stuff with the probiotics to help keep your immune system going. The oregano isn't going to break it down, but you need a probiotic to work with it to work even better. So, and it also, oregano is really, really wonderful for skin tags. If you have a skin tag, you want to apply the oregano like 1 drop or 1-to-1 ratio of your carrier oil and your oregano oil. And you want to use a carrier oil because oregano oil is a really hot oil. It will burn you. It will you will feel the burn. You'd have to use a lot to actually leave a mark, but the oregano oil is really, really penetrating. It goes deep, deep, deep down. So you want to make sure that you use a carrot oil or else it will burn. It will irritate your skin. So use carrot oil with it and put that on the skin tag. I would do it twice a day until it's gone, and it just takes a couple weeks and it's gone. And the same thing goes for a wart. How many times do we have our kids that just have hands full of warts or on their feet or wherever they may be? It would take a couple weeks, but the same thing goes for that. So use your carrier oil and your oregano and apply that to a wart 1 to 2 times a day, if you want to do 3 times a day, and just watch that wart disappear. I wouldn't put a Band-Aid over it because it intensifies it and traps all that aroma in, so it makes it even stronger. So it would kind of burn a little bit. They're just going to smell like oregano for a few weeks, but they're not going to have warts. Lesser of 2 evils for me. Anyways, the oregano originates from Turkey. I would never think that, but it comes from Turkey. Let me make sure I'm not thinking. It's also recommended to take several drops in an empty capsule every once in a while, like just to help boost your immune system and to try to fight any infection and viruses that may be lingering in your immune system that you don't know about. Other than that, I think that's basically the biggest things I would use oregano for that aren't more in-depth ailments. And the last one I'm going to do in this video is frankincense. Frankincense, oh, I love me some frankincense. It comes from Oman. Frankincense, if you don't know how they do it, it comes from a tree. It's almost like the tree sap coming out. They capture that and it comes in like little crystals. It looks like little crystals. And through the process of the distillation and everything and how they get the oil, it is the purest form. There's so many forms of frankincense. So you can go to the health food store and you can buy a bottle of frankincense for $5. Or doTERRA's is quite pricey, but as I tell everyone in the past, you're only using drops at a time, and a normal bottle of frankincense has 250 drops in it. I use like 2 drops a day, and that's it. So how many days is that? 150 days. So you're using just drops at a time, so it really pays for itself, the benefits of it. Frankincense is wonderful for DNA repair, for any skin repair, for any DNA rejuvenation of any kind. So, and it's really good for neurological problems such as Parkinson's disease, dementia. It's wonderful to help stop that process from getting worse. So, and frankincense, like I said, I use it in my daily moisturizer. I just use coconut oil, frankincense, and some wild orange to make it smell better. Because frankincense is pretty woodsy, and I'm not a woodsy person. So a lot of people love the smell. I'm not a big fan, so I just mask it with the wild orange. And I put it on my face because it's really good, like I said, DNA rejuvenation, so skin repair for wrinkles. It's really good to brighten your skin. It's wonderful to put on a melanoma on people that have skin cancer. It's wonderful to put on those spots of the skin cancer. It's also in a couple other capsules that the doTERRA comes out with that's really good for any DNA repair. But for the basic uses, like I said, I would put it on scars. I would put it on the base of your neck for headaches or for any neurological problems that you may have, such as seizures. It's really wonderful for that. There is an entire protocol on the seizures, on the migraines, on the other neurological problems that you can find at everythingessential.me. Wonderful website to refer for any oil and any ailment. And you can find that on there. I'll leave that link in my comments below, or in the description below, so make sure you read that. I'm going to read my notes again just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, so obviously something neurological. Frankincense is wonderful for headaches. Like I said, peppermint usually takes care of most people's headaches, the most general headaches. Some people it doesn't unless they add some frankincense to it, or they add some lavender with frankincense and peppermint. It just depends. Everyone's body chemistry is completely different. So the chemistry of the oils may not work the same for you as it will work for someone else. Basically, if you look on that website or essential oil books, most of them work for the general population, but not everyone. Like I said, your chemistries are different than everyone else. And so you want to make sure that you don't just totally write off essential oils if the one that somebody recommends for you doesn't work. You want to make sure you could try a different combo that may work for you. As far as frankincense goes, if you ever are in doubt of an oil and not sure what to use for anything, go with frankincense. It's kind of just your mother of all oils. It's wonderful. Heck, they gave it to Jesus Christ. Why wouldn't you use it? Other than that, at this moment, I can't think of anything in my notes. I haven't put anything else down. So if you guys have anything else you use frankincense for, please share it in the comments, because I know that other viewers really like to read the comments and get other suggestions too. So just let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I would love to answer them as soon as I can. Okay, stay tuned for video 3 today, tomorrow, whenever you want to watch it, but I will have a video 3.